DeathCollector. How are you doing?
Doing really well. Absolutely buzzing. The adrenaline's still going.
Yep, absolutely brilliant show. So, and it's a lovely day as well. So
It is.
all positives today. Yeah, it was good.
It was gorgeous.
And it was DeathCollector's Bloodstock debut, and obviously Andy's last show ever. How was it for you guys?
For me, it was perfect. I mean, quite a few months ago, I decided that this was going to be my last show, and for a final show, perfect. I mean, you couldn't have got any better, really. The place was pretty much packed out. The sound was good, and it was all good fun as well. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Yeah, for me, and it was just a good show as well. Wasn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic. Like, I mean, 12 o'clock, you got people crowd surfing. I was like, what is happening? Multiple people crowd surfing. Like, it wasn't just a one-off, and then you got like pits, circle pits, everyone's headbanging, and I was having a great time. Like, it's hard not to enjoy yourself when you're playing a festival.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
And I mean as well the Sophie tent as well. It gives it that atmosphere as well. Because I mean, I've played the Sophie tent twice now, the main stage once, and Sophie tent is loads better.
That's our preference.
Yeah. And knowing it was Andy's last show, did you approach it any differently in the build-up?
Say again, what? Sorry.
Did you approach it any differently knowing it was your last show?
No. It's just. The thing is, I tend not to get. I've been in bands for years. I've done shows over the years. You just get into that sort of like gig mode, really, and you know, it's sort of like turn up, sit around, play, go off, do a few interviews, have a few beers, and then it's on to the next one, isn't it? So it just sort of like becomes ingrained into what you do, really. I suppose it's a way of getting through the day, isn't it? You know, the monotony of travel and sitting around waiting to play. So, you know, I just focus on it, and I don't really get nervous about doing shows. I don't, you know, I just sit there and just play the drums, really, and just play the songs that I practice all the time. So it's just me. That's the way. That's my sort of like way I do things.
Yeah, it was a little bit sweet for all of us.
Yeah.
But it was great showing everyone chanting Andy,
Yeah.
Andy. And that was kind of cool. I mean, you got to admit, that was cool.
Well, I was like looking behind me, serious.
You were like, who's Andy?
Andy, my name's Whale. Who's Andy? Who's Andy?
Yeah, no, it was really cool.
No, it was good. It was nice. Yeah, it was good. It was very, very thankful to have that show, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
And you said you made the decision quite a while ago that it was going to be your last show. When did the rest of the band find out about it?
Well, I told them when we were doing the show in Limerick, wasn't it?
In Ireland.
Siege of Limerick. So I basically told them then that was going to be. So they've had plenty of time to sort of like take it in, and like I say, they're already organising how they're going to take the band forward as well. So yeah.
Yeah, it's we've adjusted like our expectations and measured what we wanted, because like he's built the foundation with us, and so we can now build on it. So even though we're losing our bandmate and friends, we haven't lost Andy in our lives. He's still our friend. We're still going to hang out. Still going to go do stuff. Also, I feel like we have to pass everything by him now.
Also, as well, me and Mick have worked on some new songs, ideas, not actual solid songs, and the lads are going to take them forward as well. So hopefully, it's still the next album will still be have a little bit of me in it as well, like, you know. So
we can't get away from him. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
And you've all played at Bloodstock previously in other bands. Did it feel any different this time doing it as DeathCollector?
Yeah, it felt really comfortable. Like it felt like this was just, as you were saying, like so just going for the rudiments and sort of expectations. But and then as soon as we played it, I was like, oh, okay, wow, okay, wow. You know, so it felt very different to what I expected, but it felt way more comfortable. Like I felt less, because when I played before was with Dash and Crown 2021, just after COVID finished, no rehearsal. Like we went into it going, oh! But you know, and it was an amazing show, but that was nerves, so much nerves. But with this one, only a little bit. So that was crazy, transformative even.
I just really enjoyed it. It was just, I mean, like I say, I think the first time I played Bloodstock was 2016, I think, with Memoriam. And no, that was at Sophie.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it was at Sophie. And that one, because it was probably one of our first shows, I was quite nervous because, like, you know, obviously, you know, not knowing what to expect. For me, the main stage was a little bit disappointing because it was just so open, and I you know, I mean, it was just sort of like, you know, But then today that was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was perfect. Yeah.
It was great.
Being enclosed and darkness, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think realistically, bands need to play in lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of almost like indoor kind of show to it, you know, like a larger venue. Where when you play the main stage, it's incredible, but unless you've got all the gear and the knowledge and the technological know-how for mixing and sound, like you could be a disaster for some bands.
And also as well, it's quite nice. But a night show or indoor show, you can't actually see the crowd, so you don't actually realise there's no one there. Whereas on these festivals, you know, you play these festivals and, you know, you can just see this sort of like, you can just see this expansive field, like, you know, you just think, oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
And you've touched on some things that have already been planned for the future of DeathCollector. Anything you can actually share with us at this point?
Yeah, so our last show, but it won't be with Andy, is for this year is October the 5th. That's the Flying Duck in Glasgow.
Okay.
That's going to be all like death metal all day. So you got Blasphemer, Repulsive Vision, Brain Bath, Severe Lacerations, which is our bassist band. He's doing double duty that day. And then you've got Tymelos, I can't pronounce the name. That's on the October 5th. But after that, it's EP, new members, writing, getting back on it. So very exciting.
And as relative Bloodstock veterans, what tips would you give to any new bands wanting to play here?
Oh, okay.
I'd say just enjoy it and try and make the most of it of what you can, really. I mean, you know, so, I mean, it's not many, you know, if you're not very often you get to play festivals like this for a lot of people. So if you do, just enjoy it, really. I mean, even as a, you know, playing it over and over again, you know, quite a few times, it's just a case of enjoying yourself, really, because that's what really all this should be about, isn't it?
Yeah, because like if the problem is with like new bands is that they'll go to the New Blood stage, they'll do Metal to the Masses, and they're having a good time and they're smashing it, but they're getting carried away with themselves and they're taking themselves far too seriously. And don't get me wrong, it's a good thing to take yourself seriously as a musician, but expect your limitations. You know, like understand you're an underground band, you're a small band, and you've got to accept some things that you've got to work your way through. And ego will take you far, but it will hold you back more than you think.
Yeah.
That's one thing I realised.
Yeah. Going to move on to some quick-fire questions now.
Yes.
So, as it's Lemmy Day here at Bloodstock,
It is, yes.
do you have a favourite Motorhead song?
Favorite Motorhead song? God Was Never On Your Side. I like that one because it's different. Like, it's when he sings with actual kind of effort, you know, since the Hawkwind days. And, you know, like, he actually sung the song, and lyrically I loved it, and I think it's quite relevant now than it ever has been. Yeah.
I'd probably say from the earlier albums, something like Ace of Spades, because I remember seeing them in, not actually seeing them, but seeing them on the telly on Tiswas. Like in I think it was about 78 or something, like, you know, like Saturday morning, you know, you're sort of like breakfast TV, Tiswas comes on. Next thing is Motorhead on a stage in the car park of the ITV studios with like all these mental like metalheads, and I was like, that is Ace, like yeah. So, but yeah, so that's probably where I'd say that Martin for me, yeah.
And then a very important question: what are your favourite crisps?
Crisps.
Oh, mine was. Oh God! I'm going to just go for generic, which is Thai sweet chili, light sensations. They're just so good. But the original vinegar discos, right? Original vinegar discos. They were like.
I'd say I quite like something like sweet chili. Yeah, sweet chili one. Yeah, especially the sort of like ridge ones or something like that. Yeah, definitely. On a sandwich, bread and butter.
Oh yeah, crisp sandwich.
Crisp sarnie, you can't beat it. Can't beat it.
Right, I'm just going to get 3 random ones out the bag.
Oh, goodie bag.
Another food-related one. What's your favourite meal deal combo?
Tesco, cheese and ham, Whisper Gold, and iced tea. Peach.
Very nice. Yeah.
I don't eat meal deals.
Fair enough.
Sorry, I'm really boring. I'm like, I don't really. No, sorry.
No. Okay. Moving on. What's your favourite song that you've written so far?
Ooh, Does it have to be with DeathCollector?
No, any?
Yeah.
Me personally, I'd say that my favourite track that I've ever written would be a darkened track, which would be Unredeemed, which was on their first EP, and I like that one because it was one of the first tracks we wrote, and it's got a lot of death metal and a little bit of black metal as well, and I just like it. It's just always been one of my favourite ones.
It is an amazing track, actually. Yeah, no, that album's amazing generally. Okay, mine. Ooh. I'm gonna say A Taste of Ichor by DeathCollector.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Lyrically, because it touches upon like addiction and like substance abuse, but it does it in a more of a way of kind of like an acknowledgement and acceptance and sort of like an grievance with it.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of like sort of testament to like growth and acceptance. So I think like, because I've never suffered from substance abuses, but luckily, but a lot of my friends have, and you know, so I've been there with them through it. So that was my kind of understanding of it. So that was what that song was about. There's a lot of DeathCollector songs I really liked, but yeah, Taste of Ichor, yeah.
Okay. Final one then. What's the favourite venue that you've either played in or watched in?
I would have said that one of the maddest and funniest gigs I ever did was a bolt thrower one. It was a place called something like Das Hoos or something, and it literally was somebody's front room, and like basically the stage was at the back end of this room, and once you were on stage, there was like the place was sold out, and you couldn't actually get off stage, and it was so hot that condensation was dripping off the ceiling. And every time I hit the cymbals, they were going down. So Neil, our roadie, had to keep coming up and like putting them up, and then I'd hit them again, and they'd come down, and it was just funny, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I always remember that show, like, you know, and that, you know, just from that thing. But yep.
I mean, this one.
Yeah, not a bad one.
But actually, like best gig I ever saw live, gotta say. So Gojira, Birmingham 02. It was the room 3. It was the smallest one. It was like 200 capacity, and they opened with Space Time off the Terra Incognita album, and they played mostly their older material. That was the best gig I've ever seen in my life. Like, I have never forgotten it. Like, I remember, like, it opened up with that and I saw the whole room just jump, and I was like, what? And it was pits every song, just people flying in all directions. Best gig ever.
Yeah.
That venue, I love that venue.
Yeah.
2 Birmingham.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. So, Kieran, Andy, thank you. It's been an
Thank you very
absolute
much. Thank you for
pleasure.
having us.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Appreciate it.